Eskimo guys are deprived, they're horny, they get pent up, and every now and then they gotta rape somebody. Now, the biggest problem an Eskimo rapist has is trying to get wet leather leggings off a woman who doesn't want to take them off. Have you ever tried to pull leather pants off someone who's trying to kick you in the nuts? Takes a lot of effort, and in the process, you'd lose your heart-on. In fact, at the North Pole, your dick would shrivel up like a stack of dimes. That's another thing I wonder. Does a rapist have a hard-on when he leaves the house in the morning? Or does it develop during the day while he's walking around checking out the gals? Just wondering. I figured out how to commit the perfect double murder. You pick one person up by the ankles and beat the other person to death with him. They both die, and there's no murder weapon. Peg-Leg Bates's wife is one person who never had to wait for the other shoe to drop. Did you ever have a hatchet go right through your face? Not a glancing blow, but a full-on shot deep into your forehead, huh? Deep enough so you can shake your head and the hatchet doesn't fall out? It's the strangest feeling. Because just after the hatchet goes in, and before there's any pain, you can feel a gentle puff of cool air on your brain. It feels good. But since it's the only way to get that feeling, I try not to get too hung up on it. When did they pass a law that says the people who make my sandwich have to be wearing gloves? I'm not comfortable with this at all. I don't want glove residue all over my food. It's not sanitary. Who knows where these gloves have been? Let's get back to human hands making sandwiches for human beings. As you swim the river of life, do the breaststroke. It helps to clear the turds from your path. Have you ever tried to throw away an old wastebasket? You can't do it. People keep bringing it back. Here, Howie, I found your wastebasket in the garbage. Apparently, you have to completely destroy a wastebasket in order to convince people you really don't want it anymore. In Los Angeles, there's a hotline for people in denial. So far, no one has called. Just once, I'd like to see a high-speed funeral procession. A hearse, some flower cars, and a bunch of limousines tearing ass through town at 70 miles an hour on their way to the cemetery. Maybe someday a race car driver will put that in his will. You know a business that doesn't lend itself too easily to the internet? Pay toilets. Here's something I consider a crime against society. Women with hyphenated names. Hey, lady, pick a fucking name, will you? Hi, I'm Emily Jericho Fortescue. Hi, I'm George Jerk Me Off Fuck You Too. Attention women, you don't attain self-esteem or personal dignity by adding a name to your name. Modern feminists apparently think that hyphenation is some kind of radical act. It's not. Castrating a man in a parking lot with a Coke bottle is a radical act. Hyphenating your name is pretentious middle-class bullshit. No one ever knows what's next, but they always do it. You know what they don't have? A really good French football player. You never hear about some guy named Pierre Ledoux smashing through the line of scrimmage and picking up a first down. Why is that? Here's some fun you can have. Go into a gun store, buy a gun, then buy some ammunition, then ask them if they have any ski masks. I have a very inexpensive security system. If someone breaks into my house, I run next door and throw a brick through my neighbor's window. That sets off his alarm, and when the police arrive, I direct them to my house. As immigrants from Asia become more completely assimilated into American society over the next few generations, their standards of hard work and academic excellence will drop, and they'll feel more at home here. Some teenage girls delay getting abortions because they're afraid to comply with the parental notification laws, especially if one of the parents also happens to be the father of the child. Here's a plastic surgery option. Have one nostril sewn shut. I feel like I might be ready for that. Regarding the Pledge of Allegiance and other patriotic nonsense, what does placing your hand over your heart have to do with anything? Or removing your hat when the flag is passing by? Am I missing something? True fact. There is actually a tow truck Hall of Fame. I just realized I haven't been scared in a really long time. Didn't the first guy who wore a sombrero realize it was completely impractical for eating pussy? I don't understand motivation books. What happened here? Suddenly everybody needs to be motivated? It's a fairly simple thing. Either you want to do something or you don't. There's no mystery. Besides, if you're motivated enough to go to the store to buy a motivation book, aren't you motivated enough to do that? So you don't need the book. Put it back. Tell the clerk, fuck you, I'm going home. I'm already motivated. You know a word you don't hear enough anymore? Hosiery. The latest disaster for the rest of the universe is that the United States is going to go to Mars. Okay? Oh, yeah. We're going to go to Mars. And then, of course, we're going to colonize deep space. With our microwave hot dogs and fake vomit, plastic dog shit, cinnamon dental floss, lemon-scented toilet paper, edible women's panties, and sneakers with lights in the heels. And all these other impressive things we've done down here. But let me ask you this. What are we going to tell the Intergalactic Space Council the first time one of our teenage mothers throws her newborn baby into a dumpster, huh? How are we going to explain that to the space people? How are we going to tell them that our ambassador was late for the meeting because his breakfast was cold and he had to spend half an hour punching his wife around the kitchen? And what are they going to think when we tell them it's just a local custom that over 80 million women in the third world have had their clitorises forcibly removed to reduce their sexual pleasure so they won't cheat on their husbands? Can't you see 'em out there with their red carpet and brass band just a-waiting for those intelligent, enlightened human beings to drop by? No wonder we can't get any radio signals from these people. They're not sending any. They're too afraid we'll answer them. This is a list of people I can do without. Guys in their 50s named Skip. Anyone who pays for vaginal jelly with a platinum credit card. An airline pilot wearing 2 different shoes. A proctologist with poor depth perception. A pimp who drives a Ford Escort. A gynecologist who wants my wife to have 3 quaaludes before the examination. Guys with a lot of small pins on their hats. Anyone who mentions Jesus more than 300 times in a 2-minute conversation. A dentist with blood in his hair. Any woman whose hobby is breastfeeding zoo animals. A funeral director who says, "Hope to see you folks again real soon."